So next in discussion is role hierarchy. So role hierarchy basically refers to the roles that you would set up within Salesforce. These roles generally align with the org level rules or hierarchy. So let's say, or business level hierarchies, which I would say. So let's say in a business, at the top level there's a CEO, and then you have marketing director, which is a global marketing director. Then you have marketing director US, you have marketing director EU, and you have marketing director Asia. And within that you have regional heads. So let's say within marketing head Europe, you have a marketing head for UK, you have marketing head for France, you have marketing head for Germany. And within each of these, so let's say within head of UK, you have a sales director, and then you have a sales team. So this is the role hierarchy which we are creating. How you would create a role hierarchy in Salesforce? So let's look at that. So we'll go to our favorite place, which is setup, and then we'll search for roles. So like see here, you can see there are a couple of roles which are set up. CEO, then CFO, CEO, and you can see all of these roles which are set up here. What you can do is you can add a new role here. Let's say I want to create a new role within SVP Sales Marketing. So I'll create a role and call it Sales Director UK. And I'll save it, right? Then I can assign this particular role to users, or I can just leave it as is and go back to the roles, and I can add another role below the UK sales director. So let's say I'll call it team lead UK, and I'll save it, right? Let's go back here, right? So now you can see this is how it is coming, and then we can also have a, let's call it team member UK, right? So that's how my roles are looking right now. So we have a team member UK, which reports to team lead, and then team lead reports to sales director, and the sales director reports to SVP sales and marketing, right? So now what will happen is as part of role hierarchy, if your OWD is set to private, which is org wide defaults are set to private, then the record which your team member is creating would be private to that team member. That basically means only that team member would have access to that particular record. That is the thumb rule when you have OWD as private. Now we have role hierarchy set up here, and also what we need to remember is that grant access using hierarchies is checked on the object which we are talking about, right? So two things which need to be there in order to role hierarchy to work is, first is that your default internal access should be private, and then you are granting access using hierarchy, so this checkbox should be set to true. So if these two things are in place, then what happens next is, so if a user who has the role as team member UK is creating a record, that means he's the owner of that particular record, then what will automatically happen is the team lead UK would have access to this particular record, and this would be a read-write access. Similarly, the sales director would have access to all the records which the team lead and the team member UK are creating. Similarly, SVP would have access to all the records which sales director, team lead and team members are creating, and also to the other roles which are beneath that particular role. So in simple terms, as we go up the hierarchy, the role hierarchy grants you access to more data. Anybody who has created a record and he lies below your particular role, then you would have access to their data. But let's say if there are 10 users with the same role, which is team member UK, then they would not have access to each other's data, but the team lead would have access to all of those 10 team members who are reporting into him. So this is very important thing to remember. I'll repeat once again. So if there are 10 team members and the OWD is private and you are granting access using hierarchies on that particular object, then those team members will not have access to each other's data, but the team lead would have access to the records created by each of those 10 team members, and similarly sales director would have access to the records created by team lead and those 10 team members. I hope it's clear to you. If you have any questions, you can join the QA session, which happens every Friday 3 to 4 p.m. GMT, which is 7:30 to 8:30 IST. And please drop in your comments, feedback, and any questions in the comment section, and I'll get back to you.